Ethan and Lily once shared a love that felt unbreakable. Their tiny living room was their sanctuary, a place where laughter echoed and fairy lights cast a soft glow. Lily's laughter was Ethan's favorite melody, and his dreams were hers to nurture. Together, they were invincible, or so it seemed. But as the years went on, life began to pull them apart. Work consumed Ethan's days and nights, leaving little time for the moments they used to treasure. Lily, ever patient, waited up for him each evening, her heart quietly aching for the man who once saw her in ways no one else ever had. "You don't see me anymore," she whispered one night, her voice trembling. Ethan, lost in his own world, kissed her forehead absently and said, "I'm doing this for us." At work, Ethan met Clara. She was vibrant, confident, and full of energy, the opposite of the quiet, lonely evenings he'd come to know at home. Their connection began innocently enough. Shared jokes in the break room, casual texts about projects. But as days turned into weeks, Ethan found himself drawn to her in ways he couldn't fully explain. Clara's gaze lingered a little longer. Her laughter felt warmer, and her presence became a spark he didn't know he was missing. One evening, during a work conference, the rain poured against the hotel windows, casting shimmering reflections of the city lights. Ethan and Clara sat close in the dimly lit room, their wine glasses between them. The air was heavy with unspoken words, tension swirling like the storm outside. "I shouldn't," Ethan whispered, the guilt already stirring in his chest. But when Clara leaned in, closing the distance between them, he didn't stop her. Their kiss was electric, a rush of passion that felt both thrilling and wrong. When it was over, the silence was deafening. Ethan stared at Clara, her smile fading as she realized something he was only beginning to understand. This wasn't love. It was an escape. Returning home, Ethan felt the weight of his actions pressing on him like a shadow he couldn't shake. He thought he could bury the truth, hide it beneath layers of normalcy. But Lily knew. She could feel the distance in his touch, the hesitation in his words. One evening, as Ethan stood in the kitchen, his phone buzzed on the counter. Clara's name lit up the screen. When he turned, Lily was holding the phone. Her face was streaked with tears, her voice trembling as she asked, "How could you?" In her eyes, Ethan saw the full extent of his betrayal, the love he had taken for granted and the pain he had caused. For the first time, he realized that cheating wasn't just about betraying someone else. It was about betraying himself, the promises he had made, and the values he claimed to hold. Lily didn't leave immediately. Instead, she gave him a choice: to fight for what they had or to walk away forever. Ethan chose to fight, but the path to redemption was anything but easy. They began therapy, where Ethan confronted the truths he had avoided for so long: his fear of vulnerability, his tendency to escape rather than repair. Lily found her voice, learning to set boundaries and express the pain she had buried deep inside. The journey was excruciating. There were nights of tears, screaming, and silence. But there were also moments of hope, of tenderness, as they slowly began to rediscover the love they thought was lost. One day, Ethan found himself standing before a glass window. He stared at his reflection, seeing not only the man he had been, the mistakes, the selfishness, but also the man he was becoming. Redemption wasn't just about apologizing. It was about changing, piece by piece, to become worthy of the love he had almost thrown away. Lily stood beside him, her hand reaching for his. Together, they pressed their palms against the glass, their reflections merging into one. Beyond the window, the sun was setting, casting the world in a golden glow. Ethan turned to Lily and whispered, "I see you now." She smiled softly, her eyes shining with a mixture of pain and hope. They weren't the same people they once were, but perhaps that was the point. Together, they had rebuilt something stronger, a love that had weathered the storm and come out clearer, like the glass between them.